Welcome back, and I want to talk about these Just Stop Oil clowns and the way they are the biggest hypocrites in the world. They say just stop oil, so why don't they stop using it? Because if you really truly believe in something, then why don't you lead by example? Because they can't. Because this has nothing to do with stopping oil. This is a political movement funded by millionaires who probably made their money out of oil and now see that the table's turning and they need to get on this green movement. So they want to make as much money as they can off green energy, despite the fact that it doesn't work.
Responsible. The world depends on fossil fuels for most of its energy. About 85% of total world energy use is fossil fuels. Even in the UK, it's 73%. And there's no way you can transition to renewables because there isn't enough renewable energy to replace that. So what are you going to transition to? Nuclear? Well, they're not planning to build a lot of that anytime soon. So it's a complete nonsense to say we must transition when we haven't got anything to transition to. That means shutting down the economy and going back to medieval times.
And the fact is that if everybody did get an electric car and they all plugged them in at the same time, the power grid would actually crash. They have to brace themselves during Coronation Street for people putting the kettle on. So just imagine what would happen if everyone plugged an electric car in at the same time. It'd be absolute madness. But anyway, I want to talk about these clowns anyway, because I find something very, very hypocritical of them. You see them all wearing these orange builder's vests. And the funniest thing about that is, if we take a look here on this website, they're made out of polyester, which if we look here is made from plastic. And we've all seen them on the news with these signs they carry. Well, have a guess what they're made out of? They're made out of plastic. For people that don't like plastic, they do off use a lot of plastic, which is madness. And if we take a look at the people that stormed Wimbledon yesterday, have a guess what they threw on the playing surface? They chucked a load of plastic confetti. I mean, you couldn't make this shit up. What's going on with these people? And they're so stupid. So set in their stupid little mindset of the world's going to end, the world's going to end, that they can see they are the biggest hypocrites. If you want change, you be that change.
Be the change, right?
I find this absolutely ridiculous that these people are preaching about stopping plastic when they're covered in it. Literally covered in it. They might as well be a chocolate bar. They're wrapped in plastic. I mean, look at this guy here. He's the one that zip tied himself to the goalposts during the football. He uses a plastic zip tie while wearing glasses that probably have some kind of plastic in them. You couldn't make this up. Hypocrites. Hypocrites. Let's get back to the two that was at Wimbledon. I believe she was a school mistress, teacher, whatever. So she was well paid, had 6 weeks holiday a year. So I'm guaranteeing that, I think she was 66. So during them 40 odd years that she was working, how many holidays do you reckon she took? And I find that these people, they live the good life. And fair play, they've worked for it. But don't do that and then come back feeling all feeling guilty about it. Be the change. Stop using plastic. Have the gas company disconnect you from the grid. Have the electric company disconnect you from the grid, and be the change. Be the change.
Be the change, right?
Now let's get to the bloke who jumped on court. He jumps on court wearing a polyester jacket, throwing around polyester confetti, and he's saying just stop oil. He's wearing shoes that contain plastic somewhere, lining, laces, fittings on the shoe, they will be plastic. He's wearing a pair of glasses, they will be plastic. Why are you hypocrites? Stop being hypocrites and stop using oil. Lead by example. Simple. If you believe in something, then show it. Don't preach to people while you're still using it. show us the great way of not using plastic and oil. Doesn't exist, because it can't exist, because a lot of manufacturing processes require this, which is why they'll never show you this great lifestyle of theirs, plastic free, because they can't. Why not show us you living off the grid, living without buying anything out of shop? Then I'll be impressed. I mean, they can't even protest without plastic. Plastic banners, plastic orange vests. And my guess is they was probably using a water-based paint when they was throwing it around everywhere, which, have a guess, is made out of plastic. I bet a lot of them drive to these protests. Biggest hypocrites ever, because ultimately they're just a bunch of rich, spoilt, white guilty people. Yes, have a look at their faces in the crowd. You will see few people of colour there, because they don't believe in this nonsense. They're smart enough not to be guilted into this nonsense, because that's ultimately what this is. It's a political movement trying to stay in this government as if it needs any more staying in, to make sure that a Labour government is in charge in a year's time. Just like everyone protesting for a pay rise. Sure, the people protesting probably think that, but the union leaders know exactly what they're doing. They're making sure that there is a Labour government in charge this time next year, so they can reverse Brexit, open the borders for migrants. They know exactly what they're doing. If you don't believe me, go and have a look how they got rid of Maggie Thatcher, the exact same way. And my guess is that these people will just disappear when Labour's in charge. Just all the pay rise protests, they'll all disappear. Stop oil, they'll just disappear. Ultimately, this is the end goal. But that's just my opinion. Why not leave yours down in the comment section? I mean, look at these people. Look at the two that vandalised the Van Gogh painting. They're just posing. They're posers. They're university art student probably. I mean, look at them. This is probably just an art piece to them. Look at them. You can tell them posers. They really enjoy this. It's nothing but a bunch of rich kids and people with nothing better to do all day, or more money than sense, going around brainwashing people into believing nonsense. The world's not going to end, but these people have heard it so many times. They're drilled at school, drilled in college, drilled in university, drilled on telly, drilled on social media. You tell someone something enough, they will believe it. And that's the scary thing with these people. Who knows what ultimately they will do in the end? You know, and we're looking at eco-terrorists. Probably not, because these rich kids, they won't do it. Their life's too cushy to be doing something silly like that, but who knows what they can get other people to do, because money can buy you a lot of things in this world. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I have to talk about these idiots because them doing my head in, really. Bunch of clowns. So I'll catch you in another one. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.